Welcome to the Market Like a Man podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. This is where ordinary entrepreneurs come for inspiration and education to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes until the job gets done. Look, when I made the leap from corporate America to running my own business, I had a wife, 5 kids, a mortgage, and they all wanted to eat and sleep in warm beds. I didn't have the luxury of hitting rock bottom while I found myself on my buddy's couch or in somebody's basement or going back home so mommy could dry my eyes, pat my back, and tell me everything is going to be okay while I find myself. Oh no. I had to put food on the table, a lot of food on the table, every single day, every week, every month. This is the no hype, cut to the chase material, ideas, and training I wish I had when I started down my entrepreneurial journey. This is one of the premier sales, marketing, and entrepreneurial programs available, and it's free. Make sure to stay up to date on everything I'm working on, along with additional content I don't have time to share on the podcast by signing up for the Weekly Whisper at weeklywhisper.com. If you're curious about where to start when it comes to taking control of your sales and marketing is just selling in print, you can get my sales agenda to use in your everyday sales life at thesalesagenda.com. Finally, get the on-demand help you need to grow your sales at 30daysalesgrowth.com. Enter the promo code podcast to save a few bucks on your order. If you have any questions on ways I might be able to help you here with my team at The Sales Whisperer, feel free to email me, Wes at thesaleswhisperer.com. That is my actual email address, and I read everything that is not stupid, spammy, or ridiculous. Now on to the show. So we continue the theme of encouraging but useless tips. I was looking at Twitter just yesterday, and one of these gurus had somebody ask a question. Said, hey, I'm working 70 hours a week. What do I do to start my own business? And to the guy's credit, at least he responded. He's got 250,000 followers, so I guess it's cool that he did reply. But it was, focus and courage. The fight for freedom isn't free. And the poor kid's like, what does that mean? So I don't know. I mean, do you ignore your followers if you can't really give them an answer, or maybe come up with, maybe a link? Hey, go check this out. I wrote about this or blogged about this or got a podcast about this, at this episode. But I mean, it's like, what do you say to these people? And it's nothing better than some vague information. So I replied to the guy with several tweets, and I told him, you know what, I'll go over this on today's episode. And I kind of went over my story on episode 100. So, I encourage you to, if you want to hear the details of how I built my business, how, my history from the Air Force and being an entrepreneur and losing on deals with partners and getting hosed and keeping on, right? If you want to hear that struggle and how I did it, go tune into that. Today I want to dive into a little more specific detail for this guy and that you can apply in your own business as well. But the core of everything, most of the entrepreneurs that I interviewed over these 100 plus episodes had something in common, and that was they built their business on the side, okay, until they were ready to go, launch on their own. They got out of debt. They lived below their means. So it was easier to pull the trigger and ride the bullet, right, than having money hanging over your head. Now, that doesn't work for everybody. My sales training mentor, Steve Clark, talks about borrowing money from his mom, cashing in his 401k, taking a second mortgage. He needed that back against the wall marketing, gun to your head marketing to get him motivated. And it worked for him. I don't know if I could work exactly like that. I built my business on the side, always working on deals. I got my real estate license when I was investing in property, and I still had a day job. I didn't get the license to become a realtor. I got the license to save on transaction fees so I could do my own deals, which I was doing on the side. So this guy, he's working 70 hours a week, and I asked him, can you work less right? And use that time that you're not at work to build your own business? Or do you need the money? Or, is the job as such that it requires that much time? And I've seen before, my dad's in commercial construction, commercial insulation. And when they are on a tight schedule, they'll work 6 10s or 7 10s or 7 12s, and you cannot get away from that. So fortunately, that's not his entire life, but that does happen from time to time. And when you're in the grind like that, sometimes you literally can't do anything else. I get it. You're just wiped out. So the good news, though, is you should be making a lot more money if you're working hours like that. So pay down your debt, get out of debt, build up a nest egg, build up money to use when you do go live, right? When you do launch your own gig. Now, this guy, he says he's basically one of the experts at the job that he works at, and so he can't really cut back. Okay, so 70 hours a week is a lot, on your day job. And it depends on what it is you're doing. If you're in construction and things like that, you don't really have any downtime. If you're in a different type of job and there is some downtime, figure out the 10 minutes, 15 minutes here and there you can squeeze in. Look at your breaks. Look at your lunch breaks. Pat Flynn talked about that. He was interviewing a guy that created a book program on how to use Scrivener, which is a writing and publishing tool. And both of them admitted to working, in their lunch breaks. They take that hour to go knock out some content. And it's a great way to get things done, to squeeze in, get the most out of every minute. Because look around on what people are doing. They'll hop on the computer, they'll go check their fantasy football league scores, they'll hang out on social media, and just truly waste that hour. An hour a day, you can get a lot done if you focus and if you're motivated. All right, so this guy's working 70 hours a week. He can't cut back on the hours right now. The company needs him. He needs the money. So 70 hours, though, there's still time in the week, early in the morning, late at night, weekends. And I get it that you want to spend time with your family and you don't want to take away from that. But maybe sometimes you do have to grind it out, right? They will suffer for a short amount of time. But if you have goals, okay, if you're not just shooting from the hip, if you're listening to podcasts like this and reading resources and following others that have done it, then it won't last forever. Okay, but if you think you're taking away from the family now, imagine if you just keep up this grind of 70 hours a week for 5 years, 10 years. I mean, I know people in their 50s and 60s that are still working that hard and can't rub two nickels together. Okay, because they blew it. They didn't invest it. They didn't invest in themselves. They didn't invest in actual investments like mutual funds, get their 401k, their IRA going. So what are you doing right now? How are you spending your time? So what I told this guy is every entrepreneur I've ever seen, at least in the beginning, underestimated the amount of effort and focus and energy it would take on the sales and marketing side of things. You've got to understand that you must promote. It doesn't matter how good of a chiropractor or a dentist or web designer or whatever you are, you need to promote. You cannot take referrals and word of mouth, sales for granted. You cannot assume they will just happen. You must plan for all of it. Okay. And what I told this guy briefly on Twitter, was to figure out how to get an assistant. When I got my first assistant overseas, Anna, you can go to filipinotechsupport.com and see what I have to offer there. But my actual assistant, Anna, will help find a virtual assistant for you. And you can get talented people for $300 to $800 a month full time. Okay, so when I got Anna to start helping and handle some of my technical stuff, things I was not good at, things that were slowing me down and grinding me down, my business grew. Right. Then a few years later, I got a live, in-person assistant right here in my hometown. And in the beginning, I had two jobs. I mean, I had my day job and I was building the Sales Whisperer. I've got a big family. I got 7 kids now. And, at the time I had 6 or maybe 5. And, I did not want them to suffer while I figured things out. All right. So I had 2 jobs. So I was building the Sales Whisperer on the side while I held down a day job. And I honestly didn't even have time to train my assistant. I had her come and just sit next to me and observe. And it took a couple of weeks and slowly, be like, what can you take off of my plate? And it sounds crazy, but maybe you hire an assistant to help you with your day job, even if one's not allowed. And I've got a friend of mine back in Texas. He did that. He actually, for one stretch of time, and I'm not encouraging this or recommending it, but he had 3 W-2 jobs. He was a salesman for 3 different companies simultaneously. It was unbelievable. It was unsustainable. He did that for about 3 months. Then he had 2 jobs, though, I think for 6 months or a year. But he had his assistant, and again, he was not allowed one. I wasn't paid for by any of the 3 companies, but he paid out of his own pocket, and she had access to all of his email accounts and would manage things and help set appointments and set his travel schedules and handle his expenses. He grew. He got tired. He made a lot of money, though. But the point is, you could hire somebody as an assistant to help you with the mundane parts of your day job, and that can free you up. Conversely, you could hire somebody to help lay the foundation, for the business you want to eventually launch. When I hired the lady here locally, she was a stay-at-home mom, former Marine. She had her head screwed on tight, right? So she was good to go. And she only wanted a part-time job. Her husband is still in the Marines, and she wanted to work a few hours a day. She started out at $10 an hour. And then over time, paid her more. And now she's doing a lot more, okay, and earning more. But and I'm here in Southern California. So if you can hire somebody that can put 2 sentences together for $10 an hour, if you can do it here, you can do it just about anywhere. Okay. And so if you're working 70 hours a week, there should be a lot of overtime in there, right? Time and a half, double time. So use that money to hire someone to do something for you. Now, what is that something? I don't know. It could be, maybe they help you write a business plan. I'm not a big fan of business plans, but maybe some type of map out a little something of where you want to go and take your business. Maybe they help create a website. Okay. And again, you can hire somebody on Odesk or Elance or hire your own full-time VA. Okay. To build a website for you. If you look on the saleswhisper.com/resources, I've got links to different web hosting companies, but, Bluehost and HostGator, you can start $4 a month, okay? So you prepay it for 3 years, so you're looking at about $150, all right? You can get a decent host for your website, and if it's brand new, then that's fine, okay? I use a more robust website host for the Sales Whisperer now, but, it's after 7 years, 200 pages, 700-plus posts, and my e-commerce runs there. But in the beginning, you can use something like WordPress, or you can go to something like Squarespace.com, okay? $8 a month you can start and build a nice, elegant, good-looking website. So maybe you hire somebody overseas. They work full-time for you for, let's say, $500 a month. They spend a couple of months building a website. This is all new to you, so whereas maybe it could be done in 2 weeks, since it's new, plan on a couple of months. Okay, look at your competition, see what they're doing, see what looks good, but don't copy them exactly, because they're probably honestly not that good. Okay, so see what's out there, see what's lacking, see what you can improve on, add those features to your site. And then maybe, again, you go to Odesk or Elance and hire some writers. Hire people to create 10 or 20 or 50 blog posts about your subject and have those queued up, ready to go. So when you launch for real, okay, you'll have content there. Have maybe this, again, on Elance or a Filipino, overseas. Make a nice logo for you and create all of your social media accounts. and have a nice logo, have a nice picture of yourself. Maybe you spend some money getting some good headshots done, get some good photos of you doing the work that you actually do. Maybe you're a mechanic, so show them. I mean, get some photos of you under a car, under the hood, but smiling, right? And you load all these things up. You create these assets. And if you have to be careful because of your day job, this guy that I was listening to on Pat Flynn's podcast, he used his first and middle name. I think it was Joseph Michael, because he didn't want to use his last name because he had a day job. He didn't want to create any conflict, right? So maybe you do this under a pseudonym as well. I'm not sure. But you get the point. There are things you can do. There are assets you can be building up, okay? Blog content. Maybe you make a bunch of videos. I make videos almost daily now with my iPhone while I'm driving, okay? I don't recommend it unless you are multi-talented, but I got a short drive to the gym, and I'll knock out a quick video. But smartphones now, webcams, they're easy to use to make good videos. You can load them up to YouTube. You can keep them as unlisted. Learn some YouTube SEO tips and tricks, okay? Put a good title, link back to your website, use some good keywords so it's found, but you can keep it unlisted until you're ready to go live. And then you can immediately make those public, share them on your social media sites. Make sure you've got some type of email platform. You can start with MailChimp for free, okay, for up to, I think, 2,500 users, 2,500 contacts. You can have an email newsletter. Again, you're a good Filipino VA can create a nice template, put in your logo, put in your headshots, have a good looking template and a theme. Again, you hire someone, a good writer on Elance, and create 10 or 15 or 25 newsletters. Now, they're not going to be too timely insofar as news goes because you're pre-writing these, but they could be a series of articles or tips on, how to do what you do. And we always say, give away your best stuff for free up front. Okay, it shows you're an expert. It builds trust. It builds credibility, and it gets rid of the free cheapos out there, that wouldn't pay you anyway. So, again, maybe you're an auto mechanic. You could make a series of videos, on how to change your oil, how to tune up your car, how to gap a spark plug, right? How to set the timing. Maybe you got older cars, right? How to work with a catalytic converter. I mean, who knows? You can get into transmissions. You can get into paint jobs. You can get into upholstery. You can get into how to replace your radio, right, in an old car. So how to charge your AC. So a ton of things, and people always think they make it too complex, okay? But the very simple, what you would consider mundane, is what the marketplace wants to learn about. They're overwhelmed, they're confused. So if you can show them how to do little things, they'll be impressed and they'll become loyal. So that maybe becomes a lead magnet, all right? So lead magnet, like it sounds, it attracts leads, it attracts visitors, people to opt in. So you use your MailChimp, or you get an AWeber account. So you can start that for $1, and it goes up to like $19 a month, $19.95 for the first couple hundred visitors, and it stays affordable. But you can create a web form where people can opt in, first name and email, to get your free report on how to tune up your car for free, how to do whatever. Okay, and you can have a series of videos maybe. Then you can start getting a little more complex when you start embedding things on like a password protected part of your site, but there's free plugins from WordPress to create password protected areas. You could create a private group on Facebook, okay, and that's free. And you could put all the videos up there. And you can say, hey, get access to this and more, become opt in here and we'll show you how. So now they opt in through your MailChimp for free, or AWeber for $20 a month. Now you've captured their name and contact info. It sends them an email, and that email takes them to a link to your fan page. When they're on the fan page, then they have to request access. Now you can cross-reference their name and email with your opt-in list, okay, through AWeber or MailChimp, and confirm that they did opt in. And you want to do that because that's the only information you truly own. Facebook can and will change the rules anytime they want. So they could shut your page down or your private group. They could start charging for it. I mean, who knows? Okay, so your website is always your hub. You are driving people back to your website. So now you have these videos uploaded on your private Facebook group, and now people are talking about it, okay? Car enthusiasts, or maybe you're teaching people how to work out and lose weight, for free at home, how to get whiter teeth. I mean, you name it. Okay, so, but you have great content. You put about great content for free. Give away your best stuff for free up front. Now people start talking about it. Then you start to build a tribe. Then you start to build momentum. Now you have 500 fans, 1,000 fans, 5,000 fans, who knows? And as you get ready to launch, now you can start to do surveys, right? Because you've built up trust. You've been giving and giving and giving. So you have this newsletter you can now send out. You've got videos. Now you can do a quick survey. Hey, everybody, if y'all know my story, I've been building this on the side. I've got a family, small kid at home. I really got to take care of them. But, I want to fulfill my dream and follow my passion, and, I'm ready to launch. So let me ask you, what would you be willing to pay for this, that, or the other? Or I'm thinking about launching this program. It's going to be $97. But because you were here in the beginning, I'm going to offer this for just $30, right? 70% off. Will you support me? But you get my point. Now you've got an audience. Now you can talk to people. Now you can survey them. Now you can ask for the sale because you've earned their trust. You've earned the right to ask for their support, both through sharing things and also giving you their money. All right. So if you find yourself, overwhelmed, worn out, tired, defeated, keep the faith. Okay. My dad always says, if you think you're desperate, you are. And you're not desperate, not in today's society, not with tools like this podcast, right? You can get advice for free. You can go to LinkedIn groups and get great advice for free. Facebook groups, get info and tips for free. Use platforms like WordPress. I mean, you can start for free on a WordPress site. It just wouldn't be your own domain. Right? You can buy a domain name for $10, get hosting for $4, get a full-time assistant for $300 to $500 a month. I mean, give me a break. There are tons of opportunities out there, right? You got Google Docs. Now you can build spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, you name it, all that stuff for free. So it's out there. You just have to look at how you use your time. Who do you surround yourself with? What do you fill your head with? Are you listening to the news? Are you following sports, listening to talk radio? Or are you listening to podcasts like this and audio books? And even if money is tight, you can go to the library and get books for free, books on tape for free. So there really is no excuse anymore, okay, on not reaching your dreams. So look around at who you hang out with. You may need a better class of friends. The old adage is the income you make is the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So maybe, they'll always remain your friends, but maybe they're not your daily friends. And I know that may be tough to talk about or to admit, but it's the truth. Okay, you've got to see where is everyone in life, and if you get better and if you rise up and you improve your lot in life, it doesn't mean you have to forget them or leave them behind. Okay, but the only way someone can save someone else from quicksand is to not be in the quicksand with them, right? You've got to get out. You've got to get on a strong footing, secure footing. Then, you can get out your trusty knife, cut down the vine like Tarzan, make a lasso and throw it to them and help them up as well. But you can't wallow around with them, okay? So I hope this helped. This was just kind of an extended rant, but it's the truth. And those are some simple things to do, and maybe not easy, but those steps are simple. Okay, start recording yourself, audio, video, hire people to help you write, give away your best stuff for free up front, keep your expenses down, pay down your debt, and you can make it, and you will make it. Show feedback and guest suggestions are always welcome. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover and any cool guys or gals you'd like me to interview. You can hit me up at wes@thesaleswhisperer.com. And if you want some affordable, live, interactive help from me and my team twice a month, check out marketingautomationnetwork.com. Even if you don't have an email or a CRM tool running yet, there is no other place on earth where you can get direct access to my team and me to answer your questions and record the answers and give you access to those sessions. You'll get access to the entire archive of sessions going back several years. So head on over to marketingautomationnetwork.com and sign up now. Remember to subscribe to the show, write me a review in iTunes, and I will love you long time. And please tell your friends, all right? The best compliment you can give is to share your feedback with a review and telling your friends about the show. Thanks for listening, and remember to sell different.